how are we going?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I want to do is I want to go over just the different structural parts of the wall. Okay, and so it's not going to be a long video or anything like that, but let's just work from the bottom up. The bottom is called sole plate, S-O-L-E, not S-O-U-L. It's not their heart and soul plate, it's your heart and soul, like on the shoe, S-O-L-E, sole plate. Normally your sole plate, on exterior building, that sole plate will be a treated plate, an ACQ plate, and there's normally just a single sole plate. Okay? You have, right here, you have a common stud. Common studs are 92 5/8 long. Okay? You can buy common studs cut to that length. The reason they're common studs and cut to that length is that stud at 92 5/8 takes in consideration a sole plate and a double top plate. And when you add all of that together, 3 inches up here, 1.5 inches down there, it comes out to 96. When you add that together on an 8-foot wall, that's 96 inches. But I said this was 92 5/8. All right. And so what that leaves you then is 1/8 of an inch to get your sheetrock up and your sheeting up. You got a little bit of play. Okay. Common stud. Okay. I normally have a double top plate. Now when I build a wall, I will just put one plate on it to begin with. The second plate will run perpendicular. Now that's a big word for me. I had to study last night on perpendicular. That's a big word, meaning I will cross over to tie into other walls. That's what the double top plate, the second plate on the top does. It just ties all the walls together. So like on this particular wall, I would not run a double top plate just from there to there. I'd want to run that double top plate so that it crosses over and connects to other walls. Okay. I have right here, we have a header. The header can be different materials. Normally it has to be a thicker material, 2x8. Maybe a garage, it's going to be a 2x12. All right. And then there's even load weights that, depending on the particular load, that will support. But it's a header. There's box headers and there's laminated headers. But it's just simply, all this header does is it takes the weight from the roof and transmits it down alongside of the window. So it's just simply it has to support the load that's directed over the window or over the door. But it's a header. Right here we have on this door, we have of course a header here, but to support the header we have a trimmer stud. The trimmer stud sets underneath the header to support the weight of the header. Okay. On the outside of the door and on the outside of the window, those are called king studs. King. It's still really like a common stud. It's the same length, but just simply because they are locating the window or locating the door, they're called a king stud. So a king stud is used right in combination with a trimmer stud to support the header. Now notice, okay, one more then is I've got a cripple. And of course, it just simply doesn't go all the way through. It's some type of short stud. So I've got a cripple up here and a cripple right there. I've got a sill plate on the window. Okay, and these right here would still be your trimmers to support that jamb. To support where that window goes, that's the window jamb. Okay. On the outside of that then, we'll put the sheeting on the outside of that, and that's the reason when you lay out a wall, you lay it out so the outside to center, the center of this cripple right here would be 4 feet. Outside to center is 2 feet. Outside to center here would be 4 feet. Okay? And so this one here, if you take a look at that, you go, why wouldn't they just put that in the middle, in between that sill? I've got to have that so it's outside to center so that it's just simply, I can attach that, my sheeting to that stud. Okay, and then from outside to the outside, and that one ends up being right close to right there. So that ends up being also 4 feet. Okay, so if you're building a wall, here's what you would do. I would go ahead and cut my top plate, I would cut my bottom plate. I would cut out, here's what I would do, I would cut out and get my header, my trimmer, and my king. I'd get this whole door window unit, or I would get this whole door unit, and I would locate it in the wall, wherever it needs to be. Okay, some weird measurement, wherever it needs to be. Once I've located that door, or located that window, I'd go ahead and hammer that in, nail that in at the sole, nail that in at the top plate. Once that's done then I would locate all of my commons, okay? Because if you take a look right here, evidently from there to the center of that one right there is 2 feet, okay? This trimmer almost becomes that 2 foot mark, but not quite. And so that's the reason you have weird spacing sometimes, simply to get the sheeting on the outside. Okay, Sammy, how much time am I into?
6 minutes.
6? Okay, that's not too bad. Anybody have any questions on that? I just can't go over 10. Okay, so a quick review. Just a quick review. Sole plate, top plate. You will have a double top plate to tie into other walls. I have a common stud. I have a king stud, king, king. A trimmer stud that goes up underneath the headers. Trimmer stud that goes up underneath the window. I have cripples, cripple studs. I have a sill plate, and I have a header. 2x6s, 3 nails. There's always 3 nails. That is just a common practice. I put 3 nails when I'm putting a 2x6 together. Use 2 nails when I'm putting a 2x4 wall together. And I want to space those out a little bit, staying away from the edge. So the same thing with our screws. Okay? All right, that it? All right, we're good.